Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to Titan Conqueror League. My name is Azakel. I'm joined here by Sloth Jacob. Unfortunately, we do not get to see your beautiful face, but we will hear from you a lot on this broadcast. Welcome. How are you doing today, Jacob?
Hello. I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. Happy to be back casting. It's been a while. I haven't casted for Titan. And I'm really excited for this matchup in particular. I know pretty much everybody that's playing in these games. I know that you know the people playing in these games pretty well as well. So
I
I'm sure
do,
this will be a
yes.
good one.
Yes, followers of Conqueror will know I used to play on one of these teams. I will not say which. But anyway, um, that's not what we're here. We're here to discuss what can both of these teams do in this matchup. Obviously, the backstory here. Both these teams started a little bit too slowly at the beginning of the season, but definitely we have seen Fools 5 has taken off with back-to-back wins in the last couple weeks. But Elysium still struggling despite an outstanding performance last season, going all the way to finals. Definitely is a team that a lot of people had their eyes on as one of the best, but definitely needs to, pick things up, especially in the later half of the season, because right now they are struggling and they really need to turn things around. Is this going to be the match to do it? I do not know. But, especially, considering the new patch and what is strong in the meta right now, like, what are you kind of expecting from these drafts here? Anything exciting that you were looking for in particular? Any picks you do not want to see at all? But, like, what's your take on all of this right now?
Um, Picks, I mean, the number one pick that I think has risen in priority over the last like week and a half is it's got to be the Scion, right? We're seeing it at
Hmm.
Worlds, we're seeing it in comp. It's perma banned, it's perma first picked. If that is open, the team that gets it is always, it seems like always in the lead. We see counter picks like we see Rek'Sai, we see Aatrox, we see even Cho'Gath sometimes at this level. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not satisfied with any of them, so I'm waiting to see what happens to Scion this game.
Oh yeah, Scion is. I mean, just like I also have that same problem with Mundo. Any health stacker like that just becomes so impossible to kill throughout the entirety of the game. But unfortunately, we will not see any of those bans so far in the early stages of this draft. We have Mel and Jarvan and Jinx taken out by Fools 5. On the other side, Nitrodax being a Mordekaiser main, that is going to be taken away from him, I think, a lot this series. We'll likely not see him on that champion. But there we go, the Scion taken out as well alongside the Sivir.
I'm excited to see what the B1 is. It's been a lot of Orianna in pro. Sometimes you see a Rise, a Wukong. Okay, but it's going to be Ziggs for the flex.
Oh yeah, definitely a good flex between AD carry and mid. Obviously a very, very safe pick. Perhaps, again, not wanting to reveal what their team comp is looking like this early on into the draft, but it is responded to by the Kai'Sa. We have seen her a little bit in Worlds, but she has really been struggling there. So do you think it'll be a better result here, or are you kind of assuming alongside that Diana, again, another champion that likes to go in, are you kind of assuming this Kai'Sa will struggle just like she has been in Worlds, or do you think this is the time for her to rise up and take control?
It's definitely very interesting. Usually you see a Kai'Sa pick a little bit later into the draft, and that is also very interesting, seeing as what I've heard, Kai'Sa is a counter to Yunara, but Yunara is still very strong. I'm assuming, I think Elysium has completely shown their hand here. They are just going to go full on for a dive, wombo combo comp. I mean, that's kind of all Diana can do, right? And with the Gwen pickup, Fools 5 are going to have a bit more of a balanced comp here. And there's the Yasuo for the full Diana Yasuo.
The Diana Yasuo, classic. Always got to be wary of that. But what I do not like is there's a lot of magic damage already on the side of Fools 5. Like, Yunara obviously is mixed, does have both, but I mean, Ziggs, Gwen are going to be full magic damage. True damage, obviously. on Gwen, but like still, that's still a lot of magic damage that can be very easily negated by like a Galio or something along those lines. So not liking that much magic damage this early on, but of course on the other side, always got to be spicy with the Yasuo pick. Never see that, or you see it quite rarely in comp. So I'm excited to see what Evil May can do with it here.
Yeah, and I think importantly too, Blue side gave away their flex by showing that Yunara, which I think gave Elysium more confidence to pick up this Yasuo, knowing that matchup right away, as opposed to having to go into it blind and perhaps facing a mid counter pick there.
Yeah, and again, I think they're just going for multiple knockups here. Obviously, Poppy is not as stylish as like a Malphite ultimate or something like that, but obviously can still use that ultimate there. Oh, it looks like it was the Gwen jungle. I was thinking that was the case. Obviously, with the Gwen, I don't know if I've seen this in a very long time, but when they just revert a champion back to a former stage, that is quite crazy. But Gwen is very powerful in the jungle. But yet again, Malphite is almost exclusively magic damage. So there's a lot of magic damage coming out from this team. So I'm a little bit worried about that. And if you pick up an Ornn, you just stack like Kaenic Rookern or something like that, piled on with Jack Show. I just feel like this Ornn will not die. But obviously there is a lot of true damage in the Gwen, so maybe that's what they're banking on here.
Yeah, and it's the triple knockup Yasuo comp here coming in for Elysium. These are always so fun to watch. It's usually pretty feast or famine. It's either this Yasuo is absolutely going to pop off and they're going to find a crazy combo, or it's going to be pretty hard to navigate these team fights. I do like the comp for Elysium, though. I think that it is more well-rounded. I think that the bot lane for Fools 5 is pretty strong. But I love what I'm seeing from Elysium. I think it makes sense. I feel like they gave away some of these picks early. Like, I don't really love Kai'Sa early, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think that Fools 5 had many great responses for it on top of what you talked about. There is a lot of magic damage, and we have a lot of characters that like building against magic damage on the side of Elysium. So I would give this draft in favor of them, but we'll see what they can do on the Rift.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as the stakes have been made, Elysium sitting in 5th place right now in that group. They really have to pull out some stops in the last couple weeks of the season if they want to make playoffs. Obviously, going from finals 1 week finals 1 split, barely changing your roster, and then not being able to make playoffs would definitely be a season that Elysium would want to avoid. So definitely going to have to figure out some way to figure out a way to beat Fools 5 here, who, like I said, has been a bit on the upswing lately. Obviously started the season a bit rocky, but back-to-back wins against top teams is definitely that kind of upswing that Fools 5 was looking for. And we definitely have to see, again, both of these teams, a lot at stake here. Fools 5 looking for top spot, and Eli just looking for a spot at all. But any final predictions from you looking at this team? Like, if again, with those in mind, do you have? I know you said you favor one draft, but do you have a prediction on who will actually take the win here?
I think it's hard. I do think that I believe in Elysium to make a comeback and come out swinging in this game 1. I do prefer their draft a lot. I think it's pretty easy to force onto a lot of these characters. I think that the Poppy pick is pretty good too. I think it works decently in bot lane, and I believe in their magic to make a comeback here. I think that their score is deceiving as to how good this team can be.
Absolutely, and as I mentioned, I have no stock in this whatsoever. I do not favor a team for any particular reason whatsoever. Anyway, going into game 1 here, we got Fools 5 Royals, Elysium. I'm excited. I like the spicy picks. We got the Gwen jungle just reverted an insane way. Like, the champion was so bad that they literally had to change her to what she previously was. So excited to see what she can pull out here. I think her win rate jumped up like 4% or some crazy number like that. So I'm excited to see what she can pull up. But obviously the other side, Evil May picking up the Yasuo in the mid lane, has 3 different knockups that can assist him. So I'm very excited to see what this Yasuo can do. Early on, not like we're seeing a lot of action here. It just looks like, standard. They did manage, Fools 5 did manage to get some wards, so they are going to know where Gust or Posey is starting. So, both of these junglers pathing towards bot side. What are you expecting here from these first few early minutes here?
I'll be interested to see who's able to clear faster. I'm pretty sure both of these champions clear insanely fast compared to most junglers, so it just comes down to like mechanics and who is on top of their kiting and their ability usage more in the jungle. I'm really excited to see mid lane because this is obviously going to be an important one. The Yasuo is a key to the Elysium comp with all their knockups. They've obviously drafted around it pretty heavily, so I'm curious to see if Albino Sunbear is able to put down some early pressure to negate that Yasuo from scaling up and becoming strong. So we're going to see some trades here.
Oh, we do see Evil May getting a bit of a decent trade here. Unfortunately, the camera does path away to see if Albino Sunbear can get anything back. But especially, you know, in that melee matchup, Ziggs just has so much range on this Yasuo, but obviously does have to play around that wind wall. It is going to be very, very difficult for the Ziggs to make sure that he can consistently land those abilities. But obviously, with the melee matchup, will likely be hopefully a little bit easier for him in the long run. However, Guo going for a bit of an odd clear, skipping 2 camps in his top side entirely, I think to make an early play on this bot side, but the wave is just not set up for this gank, so is likely, yeah, he's just gonna back here and likely go back to his top side.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yika getting a bit beaten down there by Nitrodax. Definitely Malphite. Does have the smacking ability. Again, tank match up top. Not really expecting too much craziness. Maybe a bit of fighting like this. And maybe something more as Yika does get the knock-up off. But now Nitrodax might have an angle here. As the slow is there, Yika might have to burn the flash. Does not need to. Again, tanky boys. They are going to survive. They don't do a lot of damage at this level. And Yika is just able to walk away. But the flash forward is responded in kind.
Yeah, and with both flashes used and Guo on the top side of the map now, I'm wondering if there's going to be a hover up there. See if there's maybe even a dive opportunity.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Guo did manage to grab that top scuttle, so that will even up. But obviously, using the slower path is a camp behind. Will likely even it up here with his Gromp. But Diana, maybe looking for an opportunity here, will be able to take out this ward. But does not look like much else will come of it. Guo was still doing his Gromp and unable to capitalize.
Yeah, so it looks like Guster Posey is going to be pulling ahead here. Oh, and it looks like they might be going for the top dive now here.
They could also be just Guo trying to counter jungle with an item advantage. Does have that Dark Seal, so is slightly stronger. Might look for something here, but again, Nitrodax is very, very low mana. Might not be able to help. Oh, but they don't know, and I think Guster Posey might be looking for a top gank. It does not know that Guo is behind him. We'll see if they will be able to find something here. As Guo manages the heist and will likely just make his escape right now.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea of this path, I'm assuming, from Guo. You go a little bit behind in the camp cycling, and you're a little less efficient, but with the item advantage, you feel more confident to go for an invade like that on the camps that they started, which is important to note. That is something that he decided to do because they had the ward. They saw that he started those camps, so he knows those camps respawn first. So he based, got his item, and decided to go up there. And it turned out pretty well for him. At the end of both of these clears, he's going to be up a camp, and I think he'll be happy about that.
Slow and steady is the name of the game so far. Neither of these teams really taking too much action. To be honest, the most action was flashes burned in the top lane, but outside of that, not much has happened. Who do you think in these comps? Who do you think favors the slow style that has been the game so far?
It's a little hard to say. I feel like the side of Elysium does favor it a lot. This Yasuo getting 3 items is a massive breakpoint for the team. Ziggs absolutely hates playing against the kind of comp that Elysium has drafted. So I think that they are happier with the scaling side. I think that once they can pull the trigger and be very confident in their ability to just one-shot this Ziggs and Yunara, things will be great for them. But, you know, the full 5 side is also nothing to scoff at. I mean, Yunara is a very, very strong champion on this patch. We talked about Gwen too. See a little bit of trading top side, but nothing crazy. Gwen 2 obviously has come back into the meta, and I wouldn't count them out, but I do think that Elysium is favored.
Yeah, we can definitely see there are at least some go angles on Fools 5. There's a lot of poke on both teams, actually. I think, obviously, with the Ziggs, a little bit more for the side of Fools 5, but some go tools on both teams. Obviously, tons of dive on Elysium, but that Malphite ultimate, paired alongside the Rakan, definitely cannot be scoffed at. I know Taj usually likes to play a lot of really, really fun stuff, so I'm hoping we get some spicy picks from him in game number 2. You know, I've seen him pull out the, fiddlestick support and stuff like that. So I hope for something a little bit more exciting, but definitely we'll have to look to see how this game goes. First of all, again, just so much trading in the top lane, and Guster Posey is up here. Gwen is doing the dragon. So this might be a first blood potentially for Dragon instead. Nitro Dax is going to dodge the ultimate. It might actually turn this around as there's the flash on the Ornn, and Nitro Dax in the 1v2 pulls off the first blood. It does cost him his life, but what a play by the Fools 5 top laner.
Yeah, nice trade there for Nitro Dax. The ability to get the first blood there is honestly just crazy. I think Yika getting a little bit excited with that Ornn ultimate. I mean, to be fair, you got a Malphite walking away from you with ult. I get it, you're scared, but I think it was just ripped a little bit too early, and then walking up into that Malphite ultimate will spell his demise. So definitely an all-around win for Elysium. On that, or sorry, Fools 5 on that play.
I was like, I don't think you meant it, but I'm not going to correct you. But Fools 5 also picking up that dragon as well. Definitely a win overall. They are down about 300 gold, just through farm, I'm assuming. But definitely, with that dragon already claimed, that is a huge deal. It is traded with the Void Grub, so at least Elysium do get something back. So it's not a full net negative in that top lane play, but still overall I think Nitro Dax is going to be happy with that play.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy, and he picks up those early plated steel caps, which are very, very good against the side of Elysium. Pretty much every single champion, aside from the Ornn, is going to be an auto attacker. Surprised to see them that early against the Ornn, because they don't get a lot of value in lane, but I think they are still the best boot choice by far.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that Malphite does more damage the more armor he has, so it's not always necessarily a bad thing to pick them up early. Yeah, it might not be great in lane, but you're also playing into a tank lane. It's not as impactful as if you were playing into like a Darius or something like that, right? So definitely curious, but Nitro Dax, again, just so much trading in the top lane. These tanks and Nitro Dax now running the wrong way. I don't know exactly what the plan was there, but Yika, honestly, I think taking the worst of that trade is he misses the knock-up here, so Nitro Dax just able to walk away.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think that Malphite does favor trades like that because he can take the quick short trades and hop out. And it's pretty hard for Ornn to kill him because Malphite can always cancel the Ornn ultimate by ulting on his head when he's about to recast it. I think that's a big part of why Nitro Dax likes this matchup.
And Ornn, I still think one of the strongest top laners for this very reason. Just able to craft his full item in lane, and now he has a massive advantage over Nitro Dax just from champion diff, nothing else. Guo is here. They might look for a blaze. Yep, there goes the ultimate in. Yika does have that flashback in case he needs to make an escape. The Gwen ultimate is used as well. The slow is there. Yika is going to summon up the Ornn Horn, does get the knock-up in time, but it won't be enough to save him, but it is going to be responded to by Guster Posey, who is there to take out Guo, and is full health, does have the dash there, uses the double dash, does not want to follow up any further. Nitro Dax and Guo do pick up one kill, but it is responded, keeping us even at 2-2.
Yeah, well played from Yika there, honestly, buying a lot of time for the Diana counter gank, and even getting the double ult off there at the end was really impressive. And also the knowledge of Guster Posey knowing that he can go in there and he can definitely kill the Gwen and chase down that Malphite and make sure that he's not able to get anything more out of that play. I really like it. I think Elysium pulling very comfortably ahead in this early game here, despite the loss of the Drake. They're going to be very happy with a strong Diana, especially with their Yasuo pairing. So I think things are looking up for Elysium.
And again, I just really, really like Elysium's draft better just because I feel like Fools 5 have way too much magic damage. Like, if you pick 4.5 champions worth of magic damage, like, I just feel like, this Ornn is already stacking MR. He's just going to be able to get, like, a Canic Rookern or something after this as well, and just survive through the majority of their burst. Absolutely, Solo Mason on this Yunara can do a lot of physical damage as well, but as a mixed champion, that's what Yunara was, made to do. So definitely going to be a bit curious to see as the game goes along whether or not just these champions become killerable or not.
Yeah, the damage spread is definitely a concern for Fools 5. I also feel like the Elysium comp just... They've got a lot more tools to do things when they are ahead, right? Fools 5 have the Malphite ultimate, and that's kind of about it. Sure, they have Rakan, but Rakan usually likes to follow up on engages.
Yeah, more fighting in the top lane. Yika does not quite have that ultimate yet, so he's not able to finish off Nitrotax, who does still have his own ult, his own flash, likely would have made it out. But these tanks, they're treating this matchup like it's a true 1v1. This is not the boring, Ord versus Malphite lane. This is, we're gonna fight and we're gonna have fun doing it.
Yeah, they are brawling it out. This is going to be one of those games where, oh, we got to engage outside.
Here we go. We got a bit of a fight brewing up over this second dragon of the game. Looks like Fools 5 do have the advantage here, but also we have an ultimate topside. Yika gets the flash, and that actually might mean Yika dies. The feat of Warfares is claimed in the top side because Yika did not have his own flash. Custer Posey flashes as well, but he just misses because Albino Sunbear is able to dodge it. Taj pops his own flash and gets the knockout, but just onto one. Arrow is after using his own flash to get away, but he will likely go down. But it is traded back. It's 2 kills so far for Elysium, as Taj is also running for the hills, but he will not get far as Kaisa picks up 2 kills down there. Yasuo another, and yes, it was a 1 kill on top side in order to claim that Feats of Warfare first, but overall the bot side fight goes in favor of Elysium.
Yeah, a little bit too fast there, I think, from Fools 5. The Ziggs is able to bait out the Diana ultimate. It hits nothing, and I think that's the big key to the team fight, right? Elysium need this Diana ultimate in order to win, but I think they get a little bit too overconfident about the fact that there is no Diana ultimate, because Solo Mason just jumps in the middle of 4 people and just gets absolutely blasted by that Poppy. And now Elysium have taken the fight, they've taken the drag, they've taken a 2,000 gold advantage, and they're going to cancel the Ziggs here.
Bit of a pause delay. Sorry about that. But Albino Sunbear does get his back interrupted, so a bit unfortunate there. Also, Yika has done quite a number on this turret here, as Nitrodax did have to back, did not have TP. So, again, look, Yika is just stacking MR non-stop. We see another Null Magic Mantle coming out. This is what I was worried about for Fools 5. Yeah, your champions work well together, but you also have to think about the damage spread. Absolutely, this is still early on in the game. It can still go either way, but I was just really worried about that in draft. We can see the effects of it.
And here
we also
Posey again.
Yeah, we also have a bit of a fight top. Yika does not have the ultimate yet. Just barely misses the knockup. Taj is here to back up his top laner, so Guster Posey is going to walk away. Guo is here as well, but Nitrodax decides he does not want to stop. The flash comes through from Yika, keeping himself alive. Solo Mason might actually just die 1v1 in the mid lane. Evil May is there! Will lose his own life, but does manage to get the kill before he dies. Meanwhile, in top lane, Yika does indeed go down with the 3v2, but overall, it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Fools 5, evening up the kills at 6-6, and Rift Herald is on the menu.
Yeah, and they're going to be handing Yika his 4th death in this top lane. I'm going to be honest, I don't even really think it's that big of a deal. This, like you said, the damage spread is full magic. The Ornn's just going to keep building the MR. Sure, he's given a couple deaths to maybe the wrong people.
Oh, a really, really good Poppy ultimate if they are looking for a steal here, because now Guo is out of it. It looks like it's just going to stall, but that's about it. They did not want to go for the steal. They do stall it by a few seconds, but overall, the Rift Herald still goes over to Fools 5.
Yep, still no Diana ultimate, unfortunately. I think if they have that there, it could definitely be a steal, but that's the thing about Diana. Champion's incredibly reliant on this very powerful ultimate ability. Once that goes down, whether it gets missed, wasted, or even just used on a kill, it is really hard for Diana to keep forcing. even though the Poppy ultimate was very effective.
Atacon will be spawning top. I am not surprised based on what we saw in the early game. Yika and NitroDax played like true Chads here. Just they wanted to fight, and fight they did. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams play around this top lane, as Atacon will be spawning here in just 3 short minutes. So definitely going to influence the game immensely, because again, when those Otacons spawn at bot lane, it's just whoever wins that dragon fight will get an Otacon for free. So a bit more strategy is involved whenever the Otacon spawns top.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be one of those games where in the post game you're going to see the 2 top laners far ahead of anyone else in the damage graph, and you're going
Everyone's
to be
farming minions. They're like, no, we don't want to do that.
you're going to be
hitting
sat
each
there
other.
wondering, what's my AD carry doing? Why does my AD carry have less damage than my Malphite?
But again, like this is the exact reason why. Like, yeah, you hit a W there from Dilly, but like that's about all the damage you're doing. Meanwhile, top lane, they are just beating the crap out of each other. So definitely going to be interesting to see the final damage spreads later on. But right now, this dragon spawning in a minute's time. Gold is relatively even, about 1,000 right now in favor of Elysium. Again, just who are you favoring in this upcoming fight? Because you know it is going to be a doozy, and I think it'll dictate the rest of the game.
I think I still got to give it to Elysium. This Yasuo-Diana combo is online fully right now. They are very strong. Not to mention they're backed up by this Kai'Sa, who is rocking 10 CS per minute and a Kraken Slayer, which I think is more powerful than Yunara's Spike right now. So I think that this dragon fight should probably go the way of Elysium.
And with that charge, oh no, Yika once again finds himself in a lot of danger. Malphite still has the ultimate, uses it there, but Yika has a lot of MR. Will he be able to make his escape? No, he will not. NitroDax's second solo kill of the game. And now with this mid lane tower so low, remember they have a Ziggs on the other team. They can take the tower whenever they want with the satchel. But meanwhile, we have a fight brewing. Guster Posey is there. Taj is forced to dash away. The bombs will keep Dilly at bay, as well as he is chunked about a quarter of his HP there. But Ziggs looking for perhaps a satchel here to take the first tower of the game and claim those feats, because again, they did manage. Yep, there's the satchel. They destroy the first turret. They will get the upgraded boots as a result. But now with this dragon spawning, it has already spawned, actually, my fault, and Guster Posey is already attacking it, but it is warded, and looks like they're going the long way. There is going to be a fight here. NitroDax has no TP, Yika does. We'll have to see if that is an influence at all. Down to 2k, might be looking for just a steal here, but they decided, nah, maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there, because Yika teleports in, but Arrow is like, I don't want to fight, and just launches the jungler out of sight here, so it just leaves room for NitroDax just to keep going on this turret here. But here we go, the charm lands onto Guster Posey, and that likely will be him going down. Guo picks up the kill. Arrow now is here as well. The TP used from Ziggs, but the ultimate is not quite there. Arrow with the flash to keep himself alive, but now Dilly finds himself in trouble. Guo now dangerously low, is going to be killed by the Poppy, but now, oh, a wonderful stun from Arrow! And that is an amazing play to even up this kill count, as once again, I think it was a 3 for 3 overall, as we are back to 9 and 9, but now Evil May is fighting NitroDax, but Yasuo against Malphite doesn't normally go well for the Yasuo, as the dash is forward is there. There comes the Malphite ultimate, the flash is used as well, so NitroDax will be able to make his escape, but overall, 3 for 3 across the map.
My god, so many things just happened.
Yeah, you talked for a while.
Malphite ulting in instead of out, having to burn the flash. Yika, with a suboptimal teleport, gives up quite a bit of pressure on the top side, but Elysium are able to turn around that play. I think a little ambitious from Guster Posey there, kind of proxying the wave, maybe looking for a dive, but the Ziggs TP comes through, the force with the Gwen, and then they turn it around. I think Solo Mason stepping up a little bit too far again, and now they're fighting.
NitroDax might find himself in a bit of danger here. Taj is looking to try and back up his top laner, but Arrow is here as well to support. But now Evil May walks maybe a little bit too far and walks right into the bombs, and this will likely spell disaster here for the Yasuo. Down he goes, and that is going to be another kill picked up from Fools 5, as this Malphite is getting really fed so far.
Yeah, the damage from those Ziggs bombs surprised me so much. I haven't really realized this Ziggs has silently been... Oh, they go over.
Oh, but Taz walking in a bit too far. Face checks the brush. Arrow finding these ridiculous E angles to get the stun off on the wall. Once again, evening up the kills 10 to 10. What a battle between these two teams.
Yeah, these guys are just trading blows back and forth over and over as they look at the mid-tier one as well. But Solo Mason is going to be here to try and defend. He's going to be able to... Oh, maybe.
The wave is dying, and now Solo Mason does pop the ultimate, I think. Her animation is on Yudara as a little... No, I was wrong. My apologies. That was not the ultimate. That was just Yudara doing Yudara things. So, did manage to clear the wave in time to save that turret. It is on its last legs, though, so likely going to be going down here pretty soon. But obviously, holding that mid lane turret, very, very important at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and as I was saying, silently, Ziggs has become quite big this game. We're 22 minutes, and he's got 2.5 items here going on likely Rabadon's or maybe Azanya's third item here. But that Ziggs hurts, and they're just rushing down the attic.
Yeah, we suddenly go over to Atacon, and it is very, very low, taken already by Guo, but now Taj, again, stunned into the wall. A great play by Arrow, but Taj has that ridiculous mobility, will likely get out. We might see an angle here as Dilly might look for a W or something like that. The flash forward from Evil May will land directly onto Guo, and down he goes. Taj is also picked up from Guster Posey, but he will likely pay with his own life, as that is Ziggs picking up the kill. The flash used at the last minute is definitely a feels bad moment, but Dilly and Evil May are all full health. They might look for something here, as Albino Sunbear is dangerously low, but so is Arrow, and likely they will just have to walk away as the wave is already gone. But overall, again, 2 for 1, make that 3 as Yika decides you can solo kill, but so can I. Picks up his first solo kill of the game onto Nitrodax.
For the Ornn here in the bot side, and yeah, that's typically how it goes as the game goes later. Ornn is very good against other tanks. That percentage max HP damage on the W on those brittle procs will lead to Malphite having a harder time in this side lane. Also, Ornn has pulled ahead, or did pull ahead at least in that fight, on items against the Malphite, which definitely helps. Also coming in with those Ornn upgrades now that we've hit the level 14, so we'll look out for those. And overall, I'm not too sure what to make of that. If I'm not mistaken, Fools 5 did pick up the Atacon there. Elysium getting the better of them in the fight. Arrow going over the wall.
Another round of supportal combat here as Arrow does actually really smartly uses the blast cone there, but Taj does have the E to Guo, so will be able to make an escape. I thought that was a bit of a genius play from Arrow. Did not, unfortunately, have the E as he used it to hop the walls, so unfortunately could not stun Taj in time.
Yeah, it was close. I'm sure it was coming back up relatively soon, which would have been a really cool play. But here's the TP early from the Malphite here. They want to contest this Drake for sure. We're going to get a fight.
Yep, TP's coming in. Evil May is running down, not using the TP. Does have an angle, but is split up from the rest of his team. Here comes the Ornn ultimate. Is going to land just onto 2, but the 2 targets aren't really that important. There we go, a good Diana ultimate, but Evil May is still not close enough to use his own, and they are just carved apart by this Gwen. Yika uses his flash, but where are you going? Guo will pick up the double kill. It's going to be a double as well for Solo Mason. Evil May nowhere even near that fight. Just has to walk away as he sees his team die in front of him. A huge play from Fools 5.
Yeah, the big... Oh, whoa, they're fighting Evil May here. Recalling a little greedy.
Evil May, great wind wall. Will that be enough to save, though? I do not know. Trying to trade back into Solo Mason, but the flash is used to keep him safe. It is indeed... That was a bit dicey by Solo Mason there, but Albino Sunbear picking up that kill. Baron on the menu as they move their way towards it. A great play overall from Fools 5. Now with a commanding 3k gold lead, looking to close out this game.
Nah, this might be close, honestly. We have Guster Posey coming. The Diana ultimate is not quite up yet, but I think they will look to contest. Maybe if they hit a nice Poppy ult here.
Yeah, Malphite, no TP. The Poppy ultimate only landing onto Taj, so they do stop the Baron, but it doesn't look like much else will come of it. Yika now looking on Taj. This might be a good angle, a great stun by Arrow, but unfortunately Dilly not able to land the W, so cannot use the ultimate to follow up, but the flash forward will take out Solo Mesa. Guo is now half health, The Ziggs bomb does do a lot of damage. Nitrodax is here, but now you actually might be in trouble as your team is not here to back you up. The flash from Nitrodax will not keep him alive. The ultimate might. It will not as Diana picks up that kill, but now it's Guo, who's in a lot of danger, and finally the W from Dilly will actually take him out. All of a sudden, a perfect fight from Fools 5 turns into a perfect play here for Elysium. That's even again, 16-16.
Yeah, these teams are absolutely trading back and forth. This is an incredibly even matchup, but we'll see how much even it stays after this Baron goes down. Fools 5 find that fantastic fight, the Wombo combo they were looking for, but Yika here is just going to make a bunch of space.
Yika might cost him his life, but he is sacrificing for the greater good. His team does get the Baron, evens up that gold, and in fact, they are now ahead, and that ultimate is just the ultimate flash. It wasn't flash, my apologies. Just the ultimate dash is interrupted by Arrow's perfect W, so a bit of a feels bad moment for Taj there. But overall, Elysium, a great comeback fight there on the Baron to ensure that they are back in the lead in this game.
Yeah, Fools 5 kind of gets slow chased around the bend there. Yika, I think a rare instance where I think that an Ornn flank is actually good, able to cut them off there. And Arrow, this guy is just a psycho on this Poppy pick. When I played with him, I know that this was a favorite of his, and this guy just makes highlights on this. Just an incredible showing from him this game. Really, really setting up that play for Elysium and securing them that Baron.
Yep, it's definitely going to be... That has to be a huge feels bad moment there for Fools 5, is once again, just they had victory in their grasp there. They were on the Baron. They had a huge, I think it was 3-0 or 4-0 fight. They were looking so good, and then they threw it away, unfortunately. But now Guo dives in. Taj with the follow-up, and now he's booted away from his team, and he just goes down. The Ziggs bomb doesn't really do anything to help his support, and now Solo Mason steps a bit too far forward and gets absolutely chunked there by Dilly. Overall, Taj goes down, but again, this Baron play is turning into a huge gold swing for the side of Elysium. And now it's Nitrodax who's caught out of position, is very close to his base, and is still ridiculously tanky. He has the ultimate if he has to escape, might have to use it, and indeed he does. So now that's another big ultimate that is down for the side of Fools 5.
Yeah, bit of a head scratcher here on the macro department. I don't think that Fools 5 were very prepared to defend from this Baron. They're spreading themselves way too thin against a team that has way too many engage tools. You gotta just give up that mid tier 2, and you gotta consolidate together to make sure that you're not getting engaged on and picked off, as they're gonna lose their bot and mid turrets.
And again, what a great siege here on the other side, but now we have a fight brewing. Arrow is charmed, unable to make his escape, does use Taj as a bit of an avenue to make his own way out, but Taj will go down. It is traded for Custard Posey. But now Evil May is getting smacked around by Nitrodax, and Yika is trying to fend off 3 of the enemy team. Does have to use the flash to get away. The double ultimate is there, but all it will land is likely a kill onto both. But no, Evil May does actually use the flash to try and make their escape, but it's not going to be enough, and it is going to be a 3-for-1 for Fools 5. It is once again just trading of kills and momentum, as once again what should have been a winning fight here for Elysium turns into a winning play for Fools 5.
You turn these nameplates off, and you could fool me into thinking I'm watching Gen G HLE over here. These guys are trading blows back and forth, not afraid at all to just hard force on each other at any given opportunity, any inch that is being shown, and it really shows how much this game means to both of these teams here.
And I would say that Elysium still has a 3k gold lead, but I think that doesn't matter. The gold lead has not been indicative of who wins these fights, so it's going to be still going to be you know, whoever could get, you know, the better angle, whoever gets those engage tools off, as it is going to be soul point picked up here for Fools 5 Royals, as they do snag their second Mountain Drake. And again, these Mountain Drakes are going to be so handy with, you know, all the resistances that are being, stacked on these tanks. As I mentioned, just Ornn still stacking that MR, has the Jack Show now, going to get a lot of value from it. Again, I think just getting another AD pick would have been so beneficial for Fools 5, but They are still holding strong. They do have the ability to win this game if a fight goes their direction. It's going to be really telling for the next few minutes.
Yeah, and gold is starting to become pretty meaningless at this point. Every single character in the game except for the supports is now sitting on 3 items. So we've hit core builds for everybody. And it's going to come down to mostly just who executes in these team fights better. Elysium with the clear tower mid. Guo.
Yika, that is your Gwen is your weakness indeed. Guo does use the smite to try and slow, but overall doesn't end up making too much of an impact. Again, just setting up vision right now around these objectives, trying to get as much of an advantage as possible as this Baron is spawning in 1 minute. Gwen is kind of behind enemy lines right now. This might not be where she wants to be, is likely just going to hop the wall here. Oh, but the flash forward from Arrow might be enough to keep her in line for now. Guo does still have the dash, but now Guster Posey follows through, and the Dilly is there as well. That is perhaps a huge throw here by Guo, as he is picked up, and now it's Evil May on the other side, perhaps also finding themselves in a bit of a tough position. But meanwhile, we have Nitro Dax trying to make their escape, but the knockup is there. Guster Posey is there as well to try and pick up that kill. Dilly is unstoppable now. Evil May is dangerously in the wrong base. That's a 3-for-1 finally capitalized on by Fools 5, but overall 2-for-1 in favor of Elysium, and now they're knocking back on the inhibitors.
Yeah, Yasuo and Gwen basically doing the exact same thing there, winning hard in the side lane and then overextending a little bit and getting collapsed on by the rest of the team. A really interesting sequence, but it's going to go the way of Elysium as they're also able to pick up Nitrodax on the Malphite and start up this Baron here.
Okay, this is dangerous. There is no jungler, so hopefully it was an easy smite secure, but again, there's just so much poke on the other side, but it doesn't look like with... yeah, there's the bomb, but unfortunately comes too late, and it is going to be another Baron picked up from Elysium, extending their gold lead, but once again, I feel like that is so negligible, as once again, we are at 20-20. I feel like the score has been tied for the majority of this game, and again, just back and forth, but I still think, just overall, Elysium is a bit more in the driver's seat than Fools 5 right now, but it could swing either way, it feels like.
Yeah, this game is a game of swinging, this is a game of punches, this is a relentless match. Probably the closest game that I have casted, where I can honestly tell you, even though there's a gold lead and I'd personally favor Elysium, I genuinely just have no idea how this one's going to go. Anything could happen at this point.
I am in agreement. If you ask me to predict right now, I have no idea. What I can say, Yika walking into 3 might not be the best idea. He is, though, Ornn. We have to keep that in mind. He is Ornn. They didn't even do a quarter of his health there with so much resources used. He's just going to heal up very, very easily. Does have to use the flash. I think that may have been a bit early. I think he would have been fine just to walk out, but obviously, this stage of the game, you cannot take any chances. The Call of the Forge God is here. It will land onto 2, but his team is just too far away to really capitalize on that. Again, perhaps a bit of a miscommunication there. Evil May against Nitro Dax does get the knockup. Does he have the ultimate? No, he doesn't. And chasing might not be the best idea, but he actually might walk out. Yasuo survives. That is a huge solo kill in the top lane as the siege will continue. The Baron lasts for another minute and a half almost, as Yika, again, just will be able to weather that storm, heal back up, and the middle inhibitor now going down is a huge momentum play for the side of Elysium, and looks like they are done. I was going to say they're going to perhaps siege more, and actually they are. They are going to go to the bot lane, but with the dragon spawning in 10 seconds, that might be the angle. The bomb flies, but it will not do too much to deter Elysium at this point. A good knockback here. Yika, I think, used the E. No, he did not, but now here we go. Arrow has to use up this ultimate and will actually be able to knock Guo out, but now Tash running forward. The charm does land on the arrow, but that's about it. That's not the target you want. But the shutdown comes through from Ziggs, but that is the Yasuo comp that you wanted. Solo Mason falls. Albino Sunbear has to now weather the storm and is trying to thin out this Baron wave. He is Ziggs. so he will likely be able to do it. But now Yika, having to dash away, is dangerously low, and now the flash forward is there, and the Forge God will go down. And they may have bitten off more than they can chew as the dragon is spawning. Once again, it's 22-22. The game is still tied.
Just when I thought the game was over, I thought Elysium had that for sure off the back of finally hitting that Yasuo.
This is the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. This game is going to go on forever. But the smite is there. Guo with the steal will manage to get that, but it might cost too much as Guo goes down. They have multiple inhibitors down as well. This might be the final push here, and it will not. They are going to back a great smite steal from Guo. They likely will not get anything more off of this, but definitely getting that Mountain Soul is going to be huge here for the side of Fools 5.
Yeah, that is great. That shield is extremely helpful against dive comps like this, where even living on a sliver of HP is a big deal. Really ambitious play from Guo. I respect it a lot. Walking up and just going for that smite when any pick could mean the end of the game here. Fools 5 definitely not out of the woods yet with a pretty unfavorable map state, but obviously they have the tools to hold on here. This Ziggs wave clear is nothing to scoff at, very hard to siege into, so Elysium are going to have to play smart and have to probably find a way to also get this top inhib if they want any chance of ending before the Baron is up.
Yeah, Baron will be spawning in a minute and a half, so definitely going to be the next objective for both of these teams. Elder Dragon still pretty far away. I do not foresee us even making it to Elder Dragon. I'd be pretty shocked. I feel like with so much engage on both of these teams, it is just kind of a go gadget situation right now, but we will still have to see, of course, as the siege it will continue here from Elysium. Whoever wins this next fight is likely going to win the game, as keep an eye on both of these carries. Ziggs, almost full build, did just purchase the Seeker's Arm Guard. It is going to be a very tough Yordle to kill, especially with this Mountain Soul on top of that. This is... I don't know who's going to win this, Jacob. This is so hard to judge.
Yeah, it's hard. We got a little bit of a fight here in mid lane, though.
Yep, Yika is getting chunked dangerously low. Again, Guo is kind of your nemesis here. Guo picking up the solo kill onto Yika, but now this actually might spell disaster for Guo as he does get a lot of healing done, but now the rest of the team is coming. Guster Posey, Guo is just carrying this team, but now the bombs will fly high in the sky. Albino Sunbear has arrived along with Solo Mason. Evil May is now chunked dangerously low and is running into a Malphite. That is not what you want to see. Solo Mason also has to run away, but now the Yasuo is dead. Arrow will soon follow. The sole survivor is Dilly, who is running for their life. But is that going to be enough? Will they be able to force down an objective? It'll be hard just because if you look at the minion states right now, they might be able to push mid lane a little bit further, but against inhibitor and super minions, it might be a bit tough.
My god, Guo just running down the Ornn there. I think a little bit of hubris on the part of Yika, not backing up there, not calling for help. It feels a little strange. I don't think he expected all that damage from the Gwen. I don't think he was expecting Gwen to be that sticky, and then I know that Guster Posey was not expecting Gwen to be able to win out in that 1v1, but this 4-item Gwen at this point is just so powerful. These 1v1s are just always going to go their way. Elysium with a bit of a misjudgment there, and it's going to stall their push by a lot, even more so that they've picked up this Baron and the mid inhibitor.
They haven't picked up the Baron yet. It's still down to about half. Guo is just arriving now. But again, we were talking about this buffed up Gwen. The Diana is perhaps looking, but now Taz has already almost gone down. The Baron is stolen! Guster Posey has stolen the Baron here! Does cost him his life, but it's a 1-for-1 trade so far. Arrow is now looking. Guo walks into the wall and does get stunned, but now Nitro Dax is dangerously about half health. But again, he is Malphite, should be fine. Guo is actually chasing Yika, and now it's actually the tanks that are just getting ganked up on. Likely going to be a 2-for-2 so far, but actually Guo is losing this fight to Ornn. That shouldn't be happening, as it's a wonderful steal from Guster Posey, and unfortunately, the Bithy wave is not there, and this game will continue.
Well, I definitely counted my chickens before they hatched. They are able. Elysium is able to steal the Baron away from Fool's 5 off the back of an incredible play from Guster Posey, even hitting the 3-man ultimate in the back line. It was a tremendous effort from Taj on the recon.
This game is not going to end, Jacob.
It's never going to end.
Like, what the heck is that? This has been the most back and forth thing I have ever seen in my life. Whatever we say, one team has the upper hand, it just immediately switches to the other hand. And, oh, this Elder fight is likely, I'm going to say it's going to be the last fight of the game, but I mean, what do I know? Guo pushing dangerously far might actually now be a target, which is actually such a bad, oh no, this is going to be a disaster for Bulls 5. The dash is not enough to get past Arrow, and he's already down 40 seconds before the Elder Dragon spawns.
Yep. I would say that that's definitely an Elder going Elysium's way, but at this point, I am not going to say anything about that. All I will say is now very unfavorable position for Fools 5, going to be without that jungler, without their X factor in these last couple fights, and with Elysium with the Baron. I assume they're just going to keep walking in these waves, keep the pressure up on the inhibs, and make sure that they secure this Elder.
10 seconds. I mean, what do you even do as Fools 5? Your jungler is down, but giving this team with a Yasuo combo an Elder Dragon would just be so disastrous, but it looks like they have no choice. They're just going to push out the waves as much as they can, as this Elder will go over to the side of Elysium, who, I will say, did even up with that kill. We're still 27-27. It is still an even score as far as kills are concerned. But now with this Elder Dragon, Guo is back alive, but will they be able to withstand the onslaught of an Elder Drake Baron up Elysium? We will have to see. The Baron will be expiring in about 20 seconds. It will be a lot easier for Albino Sunbear to clear these waves without the Baron buff. But obviously with Ziggs still has a lot of ability to push these waves to keep themselves safe as he sits under the tower. But the inhibitors obviously will be an easy target for Elysium. Guster Posey is half health, is healed up a bit by that redemption. Still a very, very powerful support tool despite its nerfs. I'm about to I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack here, as this is kind of the big climax of the game, I would feel. And no, it is not. It looks like Elysium is just going to back off. But, I mean, you have the Elder buff. Ziggs Bomb, unfortunately, will not land onto anybody. They are just looking like they're going to just try and siege this top lane turret now. Without the Baron, it will be a little bit tougher. You still have Elder for about a minute and 15 seconds. And Fools 5 just trying to do some damage control right here. Push out these waves as much as they can. Guo is nowhere near this fight, though. And obviously, as a jungler, has no real way to get to it quickly. So if they are going to make a fight, they kind of have to do it soon before Guo comes back. They are going to pop the Ornhorn, but it will not land on anybody. It just ensures that they are able to get this turret. And they will knock down all 3 inhibitors. But it looks like the game will continue. That Ziggs Bomb does come out again. Ridiculously low cooldown. And Guster Posey might actually be caught out, as Guo does try to slow but will not land. Yikon now does have to use his dash to get away. Does have the flash as well, just in case. But the Elder Dragon will be expiring in about 30 seconds. Baron will be up in a minute and a half. But with triple inhibitors, again, you want to say Elysium is in control of this game, but I'm not going to say that. Oh, the flash forward. Here we go. This is the final part of the game. But a great flash from Solimation will keep him alive. And now, Albino Sunbear is legendary. But will that be enough to salvage the fight? The Elder Dragon is still up for another 10 seconds. But they're not low enough for them to be proccing. And actually, it is against the Elder Dragon. Oh, but here we go. The big ultimate from Evil Man. But will that be enough? No, it will not. The Elder Dragon just expired. No, Elysium had it in their palm of their hand. What a miracle fight here. Oh, will they be able to end it? Their base is kind of, their base is crumbling to the double super minion.
For it. I think
this might be the end of the game.
I think it's the end. I think Fools 5 should for sure end, unless some act of God.
Well, Ziggs, I would have stayed there if I were you. But who knows? Maybe this is the play. One of their turrets has gone down. I can't see what's happening on the other side. Look, I think they will be able to take it before the minions do. Yes, they will. Fools 5. It was dicey as all heck, but they do manage to pull out the victory in probably the most back and forth game I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that that is definitely a game to be remembered. 45 minutes on the clock, and we spent probably this entire game even not knowing where anything was going to go. There were probably, I want to say, 10 plays for each side. It went back and forth over and over and over and over again.
And they like Elysium had a gold lead, but it just did not matter this game. Oh my goodness, I thought they had it 10 times, and I thought Fools 5 would have it 10 times. Like, my goodness, this was the most back and forth game, like, I think I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm seeing in chat, like, never a doubt. That might be the biggest lie I've ever seen. There was about 60 doubts. Oh, I just hit my microphone. Sorry if my volume is messed up now, but holy crap, that was one of the games of all time. That's all I can say about that.
That was absolutely absurd. I cannot believe that Elysium was not able to end after they got Baron and Elder. I think they were a little hesitant to go on a third lane. I don't think that they understood they can't end against the Ziggs full build if you don't have Baron. Even if you have 2 inhibs, it's just impossible. You gotta go for those triple inhibs. You gotta get those double super minion powered up minions going in if you want to have any chance without Baron. But I think they were just a little bit slow and a little bit antsy. Thought they could get the end with the double buffs just off 2 lanes. But Fools 5 are able to punish them for that and pull out one more miracle fight to secure them the win in this game.
And that fight was started up by Elysium too. They tried to go on to Solo Mason, a beautiful flash from him to keep himself alive, keep outputting that damage. But again, name of the game, that Ziggs was, I think, the only reason they were staying in that game. Fools 5. Bino Sunbear, again, showing why he's one of the best. Keeping those waves pushed, keeping his team in it. Amazing damage output. A ridiculous, deathless game from him, despite the constant back and forth. Definitely an MVP performance from him. We are going to be going to a quick break here, I believe, before we get into Game 2 draft. Any final thoughts from that game before we got to decompress from that cluster that we just had to endure? So
no, you touched on the only thing that I had left to mention was Albino Sunbear went deathless that game. Despite all the chaos, the back and forth, he actually managed to not die a single time. I think largely in part due to that Archangel's purchase that he picked up, and also just playing very safe. Playing the janitor role like Ziggs should be doing, picking up those waves across the map that need to be picked up, making sure they don't lose too much, and it shows. I agree. I think definitely an MVP performance from him.
absolutely, I would have to agree with that. Fools 5 do take game 1 in, again, just one of the games of all time. Really well played by both these teams as they seem to always just find a way to claw their way back despite impossible odds about 10 different times the entire game back and forth. So definitely was a bagger way to start this series. I'm excited for what we see here in game 2, but we are going to go to a quick break, so stick around. We'll be right back just after this. Welcome, 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 everybody, back to some more Titan Conqueror action. I'm still joined here by Jacob, who unfortunately we still cannot see, but you do have a lovely cat to enjoy yourselves with. So hope, obviously much better looking than I am. We have had an insane game one against, between these two teams, Fools 5 Royals and Elysium. Elysium electing to stay on red side, so they did not think that that was the issue. What other adjustments do you think they want going into this Game 2 draft in order to make sure that, again, a team that has been struggling definitely needs to, have a bit of an upswing here? What do they need to do in order to have that start right now?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with. I don't think the draft was a problem for Elysium. I think they had the better draft. I think it just came down to their execution. I don't think that their team fighting was amazing. I hope to see another more cohesive draft, but mainly I'm just hoping that once we get into the game, they're just a little bit more careful around some of the power picks that Fools 5 pull out. And there's the Aurora flex. So Fools 5 are really liking their flexes on B1.
Yeah, in my experience, that Aurora is very likely going into the mid lane. I know Albino Sunbear is a big fan of that champion. The bans staying almost, I think, actually identical, as it is Mel, Jarvan, Jinx, and Sion, Mordekaiser, and Sivir taking out in this game number 2. Obviously, with Fearless, we will not see any of the champions from the first game, but it's going to be Ashe Orianna as a response to this Aurora. So again, Orianna, definitely want to look for any sort of ball delivery system. Obviously with Jarvan taken out, likely looking for like a Nocturne or a Wukong, and there's the Wukong snagged up there to make sure that Elysium cannot use it. But again, I think the strength there is that Orianna just works with so many champions that even taking away a really strong one like Wukong still does not mean that you've shut down this champion completely.
For sure, Wukong definitely the premier pick alongside Orianna, but there's a bunch of champions that can work with it. We'll see what Ghost Repose you like, and Amumu. That's okay. One of them.
Yeah, the only thing is Amumu isn't point and click, so that is true. That is the obviously with Wukong, you're making it to that champion. There's nothing you can do to stop him. He will hit E. He will get on you. So like. You definitely have to have a little bit of trust in your jungler here in order to make this Amumu Orianna combo work. But obviously, if it lands, I think it's way stronger than what Wukong can accomplish. Obviously, with the bandage toss, that's a free stun. You have the what's his ultimate called? I don't know. He's really sad. He hits you with bandages, stuns the entire team, and with a Orianna ball on top of that, that could set up some really intense shockwaves there.
Yeah, I like it. I think the ultimate is also super effective against Zeri, and so is Leona. Amumu is also a pretty good counter into the Wukong, so I am feeling pretty good about this draft for Elysium again already.
Curse of the Sad Mummy. I had to look. I had to know. I had to figure it out. So Curse of the Sad Mummy. Silas is, I think, an insane pickup here. I really, really like this pick. That actually might mean I could be wrong. It could be Nitrodax piloting the Aurora, who I have not seen on this champion. So that is very, very interesting, and I'm excited to see what he can do on it. It can be Silas top, I guess. I don't really see that happening. But so yeah, very interested to see what Nitrodax could do on this champion. Again, we had a tank v tank match up top, and you saw how much they like to fight with those. Imagine this sort of lane here.
Fighting champions, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it is Aurora top into Yorick. Yorick, I don't know. I don't really know how this matchup goes. Obviously, melee versus ranged is definitely going to be a struggle for the Yorick. He does have a lot of agency into range matchups just with his ghouls. If he is able to land that E, that's just free poke. But of course, his CC, I put that in quotes, is his cage, which Aurora can completely ignore. So like, I don't really, I don't know how well he will do into this matchup, but I'm excited to see it either way. Again, we're just seeing a wombo combo sort of team fight coming out of Elysium. It worked again 6 times in the last game, but also failed 6 times in the last game. what are you kind of seeing from these two teams early on, and what are you favoring so far?
I really liked the Sylas pickup, sending the Aurora top. Sylas obviously very good with the Amumu ult, with the Ashe ult, even with the Leona ult. But then what I like even more is they picked up the Alistar right after.
We baited a little bit.
We got
Okay,
a
we
little
are
bit
getting
baited,
back
yeah.
in the game. Little bit of a bait, but we are getting into game 2 here between Fools 5 and Elysium. I did interrupt you there, Jacob. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Do really like the Alistar in this game. It's very nice against the Amumu. It's very nice against the Ashe. Very nice against the Leona, and working alongside that, Sylas should be pretty effective. Definitely liking the Fools 5 draft more this game, as we're going to get level 1 action again.
All right, here we go. Yika already chunked just on. We're gonna hopefully see some flashes here in a second. There's the first flash, and it is gonna be Nitrodax picking up that first kill. Guster Posey is also dangerously low. But hey, got some steel there to not have to use his own flash, as he was dangerously close to dying. But so far, it just looks like, again, some more wards, but one flash and first blood picked up here from Fools 5.
Yeah, and I'm surprised there's no flash from Yika, just kind of eating that death. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that kill went over to the Aurora.
Guster Posey is going to his top side. His red's gonna be gone. Actually, Guo doesn't have smite. Oh, but he didn't go to the red. Oh no, Guster Posey, this is not it, my friend. He's gonna get jumped by a level 2 Wukong here. Yeah, he is. There it is. Guster Posey. Oh, and he didn't even get, he had smite and didn't get the Raptors. No, this is such a sad moment for this sad little mummy. And the flash is there. And there it is.
Okay,
They are going to trade. I don't think Guo had to do that. I think just getting the flash would have been enough there. But, you know, does manage to pick up a kill, I guess, and gets themselves closer to that objective. Does mean that Guster Posey picks up a kill as well, and likely will be able to get the rest of his camps. But that is just, again, he had to try and outsmite the Wukong, not knowing that Wukong did not have smite. That is, as a jungler, I have been there. That is a really big feels bad moment, but it happens, and you gotta be able to bounce back from it. We will see just how he does, but it looks like he's getting invaded yet again. Will his team be able to help him? I do not know. We do see them going now, but Guster Posey obviously does not have his bandage toss. All he has is E. So, smite is there for both of them. Will that be enough? Guster Posey is down low. Does manage to pick up the smite, so he does have, he did manage to get to the Q, but now all of a sudden Guo is dropping dangerously low, but with this fight happening in their own jungle, Arrow does manage to get the dash. It's 3-2 so far. Will Mason be able to pick up one? Yes, he will. Orianna is maybe coming up, but is not. This is just a bit of a nightmare situation for CS, for Guster Posey at this stage. Yeah, the Wukong only has 7 himself. Definitely not a farming game here for either of these junglers, but again, this is just when you pick a really weak early game jungler like Amumu, you have to have your team help you in those sort of situations, and I've not really seen this for Guster Posey. Is definitely, it's not his fault. Like that's the hard part. Like, I mean, if he had gone to his red buff and not his Raptors, I think he would have been able to smite that away from Wukong, and this game would be so much more different. And that's just, again, one of those feels bad moments overall. And yeah, every jungler has been there. It's hard to watch.
There's so much action. I didn't really get to talk about it, but oh my god, he's gonna go invade again. But I really did not like the Wukong flash under the turret here. Oh my god, they're gonna fight again.
Okay, but he does get the smite, so he will be able to at least get some of this back. And Amumu is a big counter to Wukong in the 1v1 just because of his magic damage. But is this Amumu too far behind? If he has another Q, he does not. Down he goes. And I saw the angle there, but unfortunately was not able to pick it up. So the whole point of Amumu into Wukong, and I've played this matchup before, Amumu is heavily favored in it, but it's after the ults, because if Wukong is trying to get onto your carries, if he E's in, it's just an immediate Mumu R, and Wukong cannot get his R off in time before the carries escape. That is the whole purpose of this pick, but it is just so hard to see this Abubu struggling in this matchup. He just does not have the support of his team. We do see the Leona is literally escorting him to his camps now. Finally, he is getting that help that he needs in order to get online, but I think just at this point, the damage is done. And here we go, the ultimate from Nitro Dax, but we are going to cut away. Who has time for top lane when there is a bot lane fight to observe? As Solo Mason is trying to make his escape, does not have the flash, and meanwhile, Guster Posey is here to try and follow up on this. Solo Mason is just getting autoed down. The perma slows are there, but they tried to give the kill over, and they are going to be able to pick it up. It is going to be a kill in return, but Solo Mason will not get the credit for that. I think, again, Leona was standing right next to the Zeri. You just kind of have to take the kill at that point. I don't know what the heck happened top, but somehow Yika turned it around. Does not have the mana for a final E, but neither does Nitro Dax. Again, we don't have time for top lane when there's bot lane to talk about, but somehow Yika weathering the storm of the Aurora ultimate there, despite at a disadvantage. If he gets enough mana for an E, I feel like his ghouls just kill Aurora, but here comes Albino Sunbear, and Yika is not aware of this. The E misses, and this is just going to likely be a free kill. Nitro Dax will take it, does not want to give it to the Sylas. I think that was just, without seeing Albino come up, that was just the best play that Yika could do.
Yeah, for sure, and again, like, there is just too much going on to even talk about. I like the angle from Guster Posey on bot. I think that once you're this cooked, like you are pushed this far out of the game after some of these early jungle plays, like there's nothing much left for you to do except just go for the ganks like that when you've got a lot of free time, because you don't have any jungle camps to take. They've all been taken, and they're able to get that double kill bot. He's gonna be sitting on his 4th death, which is not gonna look great in the post game for his KDA stats on the website, but you know, he's a team player.
Very true, very true. But the thing is, even if that is the case, if you get the win, that doesn't matter at the end of the day. No one cares about KDA at that point. But now Yika is stuck in the 3v1. Might actually be able to take Taj out, but he does have the mated, but it is not going to be enough. The roam up is going to be very successful here for Fools 5 as they pick up their 8th kill, but surprisingly, with only a 500 gold lead, you have to wonder, like, especially with the supposed difference in jungle, the farm is actually almost even. It's now even. Mumu just picked up his Gromp, which evened up the farm despite the terrible early game. I think Guster Posey is just doing his best to get back in this game somehow. Yeah,
I'm not too sure how that happened. I mean, I see that Gua's got a lot of camps up. Albino's gonna pop the ult here.
Oh, double shockwave there. Albino Sun. Oh, never mind. I thought they both used shockwave, but it was just Albino Sunbear. But now May does get solo killed by Albino Sunbear, as the early game from Fools 5 here is just far superior to Elysium, as Fools 5, I think, feeling the momentum from game 1, are really starting to steamroll this game.
That felt like a bit of maybe inexperience playing against Sylas, because that was a pretty I'm not gonna say obvious, but that was unfortunate. The cooldowns were definitely coming back up, and Sylas always loves those fights. If you're both low, Sylas is jumping for joy, especially in a matchup like this with the control mage on the other side. So it's gonna be the solo kill for Albino Sunbear. Props to him.
Yeah, and you were talking in draft that there are so many good counter picks on Fools 5. Again, I think Elysium, went more for the simple team fight. They have the Amumu Ori combo. They have Ashe, which is another form of engage. But I think the Alistar pick to knock away the Amumu is incredible. I think the Albino on this Sylas has so many good ults to steal. Yeah, I'm really excited to see, especially with a lead, what Fools 5 is able to do with this comp. May is, again, losing these trades in the mid lane right now. Farm is still relatively even, but in a ranged matchup, you typically want to be ahead and bully out your opponent. But this Silas, Albino Sunbear, having a great series so far.
Yeah, he is, and he's got the Amumu ultimate in his pocket. We're going to be looking at him as the real X factor this game, seeing what he can do with the value of this Silas pick. Some really high impact ultimates on the side of Elysium. As Hika's going to summon up his wife and use it to just farm up the wave, I think.
Yeah, but unfortunately, his wife is more focused on the wave rather than staying alive, so a bit of a damage chunk there. But here we go. We have another play in mid. Taj does manage to get the knock up there. The Curse of the Sad Mummy will be enough to claim yet another kill, 10-4. This is not the back and forth that we saw in Game 1. This is Fools 5 taking control of the Rift.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a lot of gold everywhere, but
Oh,
Guo's
no, and
coming up here too. Yeah.
Yeah, Guo, get the heck out of here. This top lane does not need you. Nitrodex, with I think his 4th solo kill of the series, definitely putting on a statement here in top lane.
I think Elysium, they're just not thinking as much. I don't know if it's the game one, you know, losing a long game like that can really get to you mentally, but it's just not looking like the same fight that they were putting up there. They're kind of just getting outplayed across the map in every lane. We'll have to see if they can use some of these tools, these really simple team fighting ultimates to get back in the game around some of these next objectives.
Unfortunately, that Amumu ult just goes wide. Or sorry, not Amumu ult, Amumu Q, what am I saying? Guo is here as well, but now, oh no, Arrow, you did not see, the monkey is there. Dilly actually does manage to get away. I do not think Arrow will have the same fate, does use the flash, but it's not going to be enough. The Curse of the Sad Mummy is not going to come out quite yet. Looks like he's just trying to get his ADC away. The Zeri W is there, and now here they go. The Curse of the Sad Mummy will land on the multiple. The Shockwave is there as well, but so far no one has died. This is amazing juggling here coming out from Fools 5. In a 4v4 bot lane, they managed to pick up 4 kills, only losing 1. It's 15-5 at 12 minutes.
It looked a little sketchy, but that dive actually turned out being really clean. I think that Taj in particular played that really well, Wing away the Orianna there, and then Q flashing after to buy more time and just CCing them so heavily. Really good dive from Fools 5, and they're now nearly 5,000 gold in the lead here. They are running away with this game fast.
And unlike Game 1, where the gold lead does not matter, I think at 12 minutes, the gold lead is still very much a component you have to consider. And 4K, sorry, is an insane number to have at this stage of the game. Yika has to use the flash in order to get away, but that don't matter. Silas busts out his chains and takes him out.
Yeah, wow. Getting the flash out too is just so sad. Now we've got the 0-5 top laner, 1-5 jungler. It is not a happy game for the Elysium top side.
I think for the Elysium team overall, yeah, their bot lane is doing okay, but if you look at the Zeri, is 4-1-2, just picking up kills all around the map. Guster Posey, and like they're just getting so unlucky here. If that Q had landed, that was a free kill. But you know, Fools 5 playing this game almost perfectly. Definitely a bit of hiccups from here and there, giving up a few kills, but I think overall they've gotten all the objectives so far. They are taking control of the Rift and looking to put Elysium into an early grave.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see more action from Elysium in the mid game. They're gonna have to be using these tools creatively if they want to get back into this game. It's gonna be a very uphill battle, considering every single lane is pretty far behind here. There's going to have to be some give somewhere.
Again, we did see a lot of back and forth in game number 1. That definitely can be an aspect here, but it has to happen hopefully in the next few minutes before it goes even further down the tank. A good knock up there by Taj. There's an engage here, but now the Monkey King has arrived. Bow to royalty, as it's going to be Arrow, the first one going down. Albino Sunbear is making his presence known as well, but that is an insane shockwave from Evil May. They do manage to get at least 2 kills back. Albino Sunbear is maybe going to die as well, but he's silenced. What the heck am I saying? He does manage to get the heal. Evil May with a 4-person shockwave almost was able to turn that fight, but they are just too far behind at this point. Also, there was a solo kill top. We should mention that. Oh, and it looks like May has to flash in order to make their escape. They are very low, Solo Mason and Albino Sunbear, but they will just walk away and let May catch this wave.
I don't know. That seemed like the perfect angle. If the game was ever going to turn, I feel like it would have been there. I'm not going to count them out because they obviously still have those Ashe ultimates from long range. They've got a lot of tools for playmaking, but man, this is a really, really rough early game. Nothing like what we saw in Game 1. Fools 5 are heavily, confidently in control.
I'm looking for angles for them to get back in it. Like, that would have been it. I think if at least like their damage dealers like Dilly were still alive, they really could have turned that bot lane fight. So even though it does look hopeless, there is a sparkle of hope here for Elysium. As we just see, the Ashe Arrow is being stolen by Albino Sunbear. Is deathless in this series so far, so we could see if the Silas can keep that up. And if they win this game with Albino Sunbear deathless, that would be an incredible series out of him.
Yep, definitely MVP material so far. Securing a lot of plays in both these games. A little bit trading.
So there's a 3v3 potential here mid lane. Dilly does have the perma slows. Taz just having to walk away. We also have to consider there are a lot of shutdowns right now on the enemy team. Guo is stunned up, so Arrow is able to walk away. But if we look at that mid lane, that's 450, 500 on the Zeri, 400 on Nitro. So like there is some comeback angle here if they can get that wombo combo that they drafted around in the proper situation. I'm not giving up hope on Elysium, but I am pretty confident in saying, unlike in Game 1, that Fools 5 is fully in control of this game, and at this point, it is their game to lose. But here we go. The Ashe ult does come through from the Silas, but it misses. Guster Posey is here. Curse of the Sad Mummy will lock down at least 2, but not for long, as the Amumu does go down, and it's going to be a double kill picked up here by Solo Mason. The Zeri moment is indeed alive, and meanwhile, Nitro Dax wants to add another solo kill to his tally, but unfortunately, with that play is not going to be able to snag it, but Evil Bay is on a ward. This is not what you want to see. Meanwhile, we are cutting away, and sorry, we can't. We have a limit, so I'm sorry, Nitro Dax. We can only show so many solo kills on broadcast, but looks like we are going to see it, in fact, as Evil May did try, but the flash from Nitro Dax over the Orianna ball will be able to snag that kill. 23-7 for Fools 5 Royals. They are making their presence known.
Yeah, that was clean. That was clean. Not much to be said. I think Elysium just cannot be in any position to fight at all. They've got to secede things. The only way to get back into this game is you try and make a play while people are showing their faces in the side lanes, or you make a play in the side lane while people are pushing mid. You cannot win. There's no winning an even numbers fight anymore. I don't even care if they hit a 5-man, a Mumu ult, Shockwave. I just don't think it's good for them at this point, especially with Orianna not building damage, by the way.
Yeah, it's insane that it is almost a 7.5k gold lead at 18 minutes into the game. You know, when something goes wrong, just everything starts to go wrong, it feels like. Those early invades really putting the Amumu behind. Albino Sunbear is just stacking here. Has only one item, actually, now that I think about it, but is still an insanely powerful force on this map. But Zeri, this is going to be the target you have to shut down if you want even a prayer in winning any of these fights. But Solo Mason has Taj at his side, is going to be able to likely withstand anything that Elysium can throw at him at this point.
Yep, this Zeri is disgustingly fed for 19 minutes into the game.
Here we go. Arrow trying to start something, but this is just not the angle, my friend. Guo picks up another kill. The flash from Taj is there. The ultimate used against the Ash to lock him down. Guster Posey is there as well. Not able to get a good ultimate off. That's 3 for nothing. And Fools 5 once again takes the fight.
Yep, and
another solo kill. Okay, Nitro Dax is setting some sort of record in this series. I think that might be his 7th or 8th at this point. I lost count, but definitely making a statement here. Fools 5 showing why they belong at the top of the standings, and definitely is going to be Atacon just for free, as they are seeming like they're moonwalking to a victory at this point.
Yep. 0 turrets, no grubs, no drakes. 20 minutes into the game, 11,000 nearly gold lead. Still about 10,000. I was a little overzealous, but 10,000 gold lead. 4 turrets to 0, 3 drakes to none. You're putting up the FF vote if this is solo queue. I'm sorry to say. Elysium are going to have to make miracles happen here. I'm talking 5-manning a random bush, just trying anything to get a shutdown, get back into this
and just
game.
hoping that they walk into it blindly for some reason. Like, yeah, definitely is going to be, it's going to be a tough angle. But like, you said that you would FF in solo queue. If you are, you might be setting another solo kill here. Nitro Dax. Let's call it like an even dozen for this series at this point. But if you're on the side of Elysium at this point, your season is kind of on the line. You need to make a miracle play happen. What is the plan here? Oh no, this is part of the divorce as the maiden has turned on Yorick here, and Albino Sunbear will pick up that first kill. Meanwhile, we have Solo Mason just kind of soloing Arrow, and we got a 2v1 onto the sad Bubby. Might as well send him back to the grave where he belongs. Meanwhile, we have Dilly who's trying to help his team, but help you will not. That is an ace across the map. 32-7, Fools 5 are making fools of their enemies.
Yeah, I mean, games like this, I just can't help but think of the comms. Like, what do you say when you're Elysium? What is there left to talk about anymore? 14,000 gold lead at 22 minutes is one of the biggest I've ever seen. These teams really just love making records for us today. First we get that game, closest game I've ever casted.
Closest game I've ever seen. This might be the most one-sided.
And this is the biggest stomp I've ever seen. It's completely insane, the difference between those two games.
That's actually a huge play here coming out from Guster Posey. Solo Mason, maybe a bit of a throw here. I don't know if that'll be enough to salvage the game, but now the root lands, and all of a sudden the perfect series from Albino Sunbear is no longer possible. That's 2 kills. Make it 3. Make it 4. What the hell are you guys doing? Fools 5. That might have been... why are we throwing? What are you doing? That's 3 kills brought back to the side of Elysium. I do not think that'll be enough to salvage this form of a game, but Guo, I don't know if farming is kind of what you want to do here. Let's make it 13 solo kills for Nitro Dax. Why not see if you can pick up another one here, as this Aurora is just on an absolute tear. Is it going to be enough? Evil May, not... It's not going to quite be enough. Nitro Dax picking up another solo kill. Will take the inhibitor. Little bit of a sign of life there as Solo Mason stepping way too far forward. Does fall victim to the bandage toss, but I don't think that's going to be enough to salvage what this game has been.
Yeah, and they're going to go on the Drake here, deny Guster Posey, and get the soul here. Oh, man.
That is... I have no more words for this, It's just one of those games that you want to forget.
If Elysium can do what they did in their base maybe 6 more times, I think they might have a chance.
yeah, that's easy. Just hope Solo Mason just walks forward 6 more times, and then you should be good. And if that does indeed happen, I think Fools 5 should just FF Game 3. They give it to them. They deserve to win because there's no way a comeback in this game should be possible. Curse of the Sad Mummy will take out Yikov for, I believe, the 9th time in this game. Taj is looking forward. Arrow stunned up. The arrow will try and keep him alive, but it will not do so. Taj, oh, you want to flex on your opponents. Do something like that on Alistar. Here you go, Solo Mason. Another kill for you. Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to do absolutely nothing. Actually, I was wrong. It did pick up 2 kills with the Shockwave, but I still think it will not be enough to save this game. 39-13. Nitro Dax picking up, I think, 8 solo kills in this game alone, in this series overall, setting a record of some kind, gonna rocket him to the top of the standings. We have a bit of a delay. We want to prolong the suffering as long as possible for Elysium, but very likely we see... No, I think it might have just been a delay on my part. My apologies. That is going to be a very, very quick win for Fools 5 Royals as they smash Elysium in Game 2 and take this series.
Yeah, I do not think that Fools 5 were very happy with the state of the game in Game 1. I don't know if they have a coach, if he took them into the back room and he slapped them around a little bit, said, guys, you got to make this cleaner. But make it cleaner they did, because my god, that was bullying.
There was like just so much that went wrong for Elysium in that game, especially when you consider just how back and forth Game 1 was, where you thought, Elysium had like an 8k gold lead. They were in control to win that game. They were dominant for the majority of it, and then they just lose it there at the end. But then in this one, there was no contest whatsoever. Like, from level 1, that early invade put the Amumu so far behind, and he could not recover. It was just one nightmare after another, and there was just no recovery in sight. They had a bit of a shining moment there in their base, but then that was quickly felled in a 1v2 with Nitro Dax, who had an almost perfect game on the Aurora top.
Yeah, 10,000 gold lead at 15 minutes, you don't see that every day, and that is really, really, really difficult to come back from. It felt like it was just play after play in that early game that went wrong after the jungle invade. Amumu trying to do his best to make something happen after he goes behind, but I think it was just too much, and the snowball effect was real there. Also doesn't help that every lane just lost in isolation regardless. I mean, top lane was a hard stomp for Nitrodax. Mid was also, I wouldn't say a stomp, but it was very hard winning for Albino. He was able to get some roams off, able to make the plays in other lanes, which helped snowball the game even further. And they just played together. They played like more of a team, and they definitely deserved that win in Game 2.
Yeah, I think Taj had almost a perfect game on the Alistar, played insanely well. Like that last BM at the end. Flash forward, knock up, knock the Ashe into Solo Mason for an extra kill. Just some crazy plays there. Absolutely, almost perfectly executed game. Definitely want to maybe review why the heck you got caught in the base there, but again, at that point, when you're 14k down at 20 minutes, again, like you said, they had to do that like 6 more times to even have a prayer in this game. But final thoughts from you, Sloth Jacob. I'm just curious. Obviously, some very good games coming from multiple members here on Fools 5. If you have to give MVP to someone, who would it be for you?
I think overall for the series, I got to give it to Albino. I think that Game 2 definitely had a pretty big carry performance from Guo, but with the shakiness of Game 1, I'd be more inclined to give it to Albino. I just think that he was the more consistent player. I think that his zigs in Game 1 completely kept him in the game. That wave clear was incredible, and he just... I think he was the entire reason that Game 1 was as close as it was, and how they held on from a double buff advantage. And in Game 2, he just had a ton of good roams, got a ton of plays on the side lanes. I believe he picked up a solo kill on the Orianna as well. So I give that MVP to Albino Sunbear. I think that was an incredible performance from him today.
I 100% agree. I think he had almost as close to a perfect series as you can get. Was their main carry in game number 1. Almost a perfect game, despite if you take out that throw at the end, went almost deathless. He had an insane KDA this game. Definitely have to shout out props to him. I also want to give a bit. I think also Nitrodax had a fantastic series. Malphite in game 1 got 2 solo kills on that. Had a ridiculous game on the Aurora in game 2. Definitely want to give out a shout out to him. I think Taj also very, very well done in both of these games. Definitely you saw his impact a lot more on the Alistar in game 2, but I still think he had some good engages on Recon in game 1, so definitely want to do a shout out to him. But overall, I think, yeah, just Fools 5 running off that momentum from game 1, steamrolling Elysium in game 2, and that I don't know if it solidifies them at the top of the standings here for Group B, but definitely will put them up there. Lock in for playoffs, absolutely. And Elysium, I don't know how far this puts them down, but again, the season's not over. They still have opportunities to claw their way back and hopefully fight for a playoff spot because, again, this roster has so much potential, and we definitely want to see what they could do in another playoff run. So hopefully they can, take a look at these games and hopefully recover and make some important, get some important wins later on down the season. But any final words, Sloth Jacob, before we sign off for the night?
I just want to say thanks to the teams. Thanks to you for casting with me. Thanks to Titan for having me last minute. This was an incredible series. I will never forget this one. Just an insane difference between the games.
And that game 1, that's something you have to rewatch. Like it is that was one of the games of all time, like we said. And I will be repeating that forever. But anyway, thanks for joining us, Jacob, again. Much more handsome photo than me, so thank you for providing that. But for all of us here at Titan, thank you for joining us. Stay safe out there, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Be sure to tune in to the rest of our streams. Have a good night.
Good night.